How does one actually run profitable Facebook ads for their e-commerce brand in 2025? Well, after generating over $30 million for 70 plus e-commerce brands, I want to give you my tips going into this new year. If you're new to the channel, you know who I am. My name is Justin, and I'm the founder at paidadvertising.com, an online marketing agency helping 6- and 7-figure e-commerce brands grow through the power of paid ads. So to get straight into it, one of the first things that you want to do is you want to define if you have a product or personified business. Here's what I mean by the two types. Now, products would go under two categories, like inventions or like a superior solution. What I mean by that is the following. Take Tesla robocars as an example, or Tesla robo taxis or whatever. Those have just been announced not too long ago. They're new. They're one of a kind. Like, the market hasn't seen any product like those before. So they are what I would call an invention. They're fixing a problem that people did not have like a fix for before. Perhaps like it's a whole new product in its category. They're opening up a new market. So that's part of what would make a superior product. Or then you have a just point blank superior product in itself, which would be a new version or an enhanced version of something that already exists, like a new fabric for boxers as an example, or a new type of grip to put in your golf clubs that would track your swing, or it's something that already exists but that does it better than the previous version or than what the competitors are currently offering in the market. Now, if that sounds like you have what I would define as a product e-commerce business. Now, your marketing would be product focused. Doesn't mean that you're going to have to be completely product aware. It would mean that it's quote unquote easy for you to advertise through different awareness levels, from unaware to most aware. There are people who are not yet aware that they need your new fabric for the boxers. There are people who are unaware that of their need or the desire of tracking their golf swings, so on and so forth, right? Same thing when it comes to problem aware. So people are aware of some of the problems with their current fabric. Solution aware, so right? You can advertise problem, solution, so on and so forth. So it's a pretty linear type of advertising with it, right? You would have, problem, solution, product, intro. Then you would basically have like the CTA in an ad. And if you're solution aware, then you would have solution, product, intro, CTA. If you're product aware, it would be product, intro. Probably you would throw in a little bit of social proof, CTA, so on and so forth, right? You can really divide your ads into building blocks. But then that doesn't apply to a personified business, which is an example, jewelry brands, fashion brands. They're the most common ones that fall under this category. Now, what a personified business does is it has to tie its marketing to a certain individual, to a persona or some form of identity. So what I mean by that is the following. Well, if you think of, let's say, Prime or Feastables, right? Two brands that are backed by creators. Feastables, as an example, they have Mr. Beast's logo like everywhere on the packaging. Like, they're directly tied to Mr. Beast. It's not a new product. The product isn't superior, but it's tied to a big creator, so it sells. Now, same thing with Prime. Is this a new product? Not really. There's Gatorade out there. There's Red Bull. There's like all of these other either energy drinks or those kind of sugar-filled drinks if you want. But again, they're backed and outwardly associated with two big creators, KSI and Logan Paul. That's one way to personify a business. A second way to personify a business is a founder-led brand. You got tons of small businesses that the founder is very much at the forefront. I spoke the other day on a discovery call with a guy that actually found me from YouTube, and he owns a hair loss company, and he's his own creator. He's everywhere in the ads. He himself suffered from hair loss and used his own product and treatment to help himself, and now he falls under the kind of product-based business, but nonetheless I'm using his example simply because he's at the face of the business. Same thing with a lot of fashion brand owners. One of my clients, actually, they run a vintage 70s clothing brand in the UK. We've been working with them now for over 3 years. We got them from below 100,000 pounds a month, and in our highest months we did close to 300,000 pounds in a month. That being said, we've been together for a while. We really helped them grow, and the founders have played a key role in that. They're modeling in some of their shots in the photo shoots. They're outwardly speaking in some of the organic content that they have, and they're again the face of the brand because they both kind of have this vintage spirit at heart and want that transparent essentially in their ads or marketing content. So with that being said, it's another way to personify a brand. It's to have a founder first or a founder-led business. And then the third and final way to personify a brand is to actually give an identity to a product. So I recently gave an example in our private community to our students, to one of our clients that we work with, which they sell meal replacement shakes for gamers. And I'm like, there's tons of meal replacement shakes companies out there, right? The competition is fierce, but how many of them actually sell to gamers? Not that many, if any. It was the same thing where if you've played video games like me back in the day in 2012 when G Fuel came out of nowhere, right? They were competing in the energy drink market. There's already, some giants in there like Monster and Red Bull, but it was gamer fuel, right? It was fuel for gamers. It was energy drinks specifically targeted at gamers, which is what created a whole blue ocean for them by tying their product to a specific identity. So that said, define first, if you want to make your ads profitable, define if you're a product or personified business, because that will impact the way in which you advertise. If you're a personified business, you could still advertise through different awareness levels, but I will say, like, more specifically now, if you're talking to like a fashion or a jewelry brand, you're probably gonna want to advertise to a specific identity, or at least a specific persona. Would that be you, the founder, right? Talking about your story and such, if your product is not truly superior, if you don't fix anything, right? Because again, there are fashion businesses, like I said earlier, like boxers, that could be a whole new fabric. There's, jewelry brands that come out with something that actually fixes a problem within the market. So I don't want to make a general statement here, but nonetheless, generally speaking, a lot of these businesses fall under the personified category. This is the first part. Second part is focus in your ads, right? I want to give an example of one of my clients, which is in the info product space. Now, he came to us doing about $80,000 a month already, so doing pretty good with his business, all things considered. But he struggled because his cost per booked call was increasing month over month with his business. So he had won from, I think at the start of the year, he was something along the lines of like $200 cost per book call. Then Q2, he was like at $250, and then he was like $300, and it's just been going straight up and up. And then also the call quality was going down. And we're like, all right, let's take a look into the account. Well, one of the first thing that we noticed is that his ads were really long. His ads were like 2-minute plus. Now, there's nothing wrong with the long ad. What was wrong for the most part with the ad is the amount of just extra fluff that was into the script. And I'll try and put an example on screen right now of like some of the stuff that we had in those ad scripts, but it was mostly, there's like tons of like benefits, tons of desires targeted in the same ad, and we were like moving the viewer into too many directions. It's like, it's as if our client had a fear of not selling the product enough in the short amount of time he had with the ad, so he tried to push all the information he had for this ad inside of like this 2 minutes and 30-second video. And that just led to an overly packed ad with like just too much. An ad needs to be focused, right? In one ad concept, you have one mass market desire, you have one persona, you have one awareness level, you have one main product benefit. Don't start listing all your product benefit. You list one main core key benefit. And this is one of the biggest kind of mistakes I see advertisers make, is by fearing of not being able to convince the customer to buy, they're just going to stack everything into one ad, which creates a bit of a confusing message. They don't realize that by doing that, they're targeting like a bunch of different people at the same time. The best example I can give is, you look at this iPhone 15, right? In this iPhone in itself, I could market that to someone who's clumsy and drops their iPhone a lot, and I could talk about the titanium casing. I could also do the same thing when it comes to battery life. I could advertise this to a busy professional, so a different persona who would care about battery life. I could also talk about young parents that have kids, and I could talk about the sapphire glass on this phone and how this is like scratch and like crack resistant, right? For kids that might drop the phone. So I'm highlighting one core feature and making it fit to one core persona. It's not to say that one feature cannot be shared across many personas, but it's in the ad. It goes without saying. I think most people understand that one ad is meant for one persona, but where most people fail to understand is that one ad is also meant for one core benefit. Don't just stack everything that your product has to offer, or go on and on and on to ramble about everything that great that you can do for your clients. No, one core thing is all you need in an ad. And finally, do not keep on changing your account structure too much, and keep it simple. I am telling you, this was the same case with this info product client of mine. We have revamped his account structure because prior to that, he had, different campaigns with different ad sets. Each ad set was testing different audiences. It was just a bunch of different things. It was like ABO and then CBO here, and then, different campaigns for different markets. And then he had, those interests. And I was like, man, how many things do you sell? He's like, one core offer. Okay, so you should have one campaign. He's like, what do I need to do with like those 4 campaigns I have? I have like one for retargeting. I have one for like concept testing. I have one for like scaling. I have one for interest testing. And I'm like, dude, just first of all, forget about interest, go broad. You have a lot of data on your pixel, and honestly, even if you haven't, I would have still recommended to him go broad from the start with a naked pixel if you want. I'm like, second of all, you currently are spending way too much time and allocating way too much importance to what you define as being media buying. Like, again, just doing this scaling, concept testing, then those interests, and just one campaign. Do it all within one. Leave your audiences open. And I asked him the same thing. In his case, it was very particular because I was like, do you have an appointment setter, or what do you do with the leads that you have? And he's like, oh, I don't do anything. So I'm like, then why do you, because he asked me a question. He's like, should I exclude all of my leads and customers? I'm like, customers, sure. Leads, if you don't have any appointment setters, it's an info product business, then there is no point in excluding those from your campaigns. And I feel like it's the same thing for a lot of e-commerce brand owners who are perhaps at like 0 to 100K a month, which may or may not yet be doing email marketing. If you're not going heavy into email marketing, if you're not like having an agency or yourself really split testing flows and such, then I feel like there's no point in excluding those people from your ads. Like, your ads should be as open as possible and just kind of target everyone. And because of the awareness level in the messaging of those creative, they will naturally be shown to people at different stage in your funnel, top, off, buff, right? So simple ad account structure wins. Simple scales, complex fails. By simple, I mean, I have a video up on the channel that you can check out exactly about that. I show you the account structure. You do one CBO campaign, you do one ad set per ad concept that you have. You let Facebook distribute the budget across these concepts. You focus on adding concepts every week. And honestly, from there, all you do is turn on or off specific ad sets and scale or descale the budget at the campaign level. That's it. As simple as it can possibly be. And it leaves you in your area of focus, which is either offer, product, positioning, and enhancements, or the creative level. And so if you made it this far in this video and you want me one-on-one to personally work with you to review your ads, to help you create some new ads, to fix your ad operations in itself, and learn from everything I have to offer through my experience at our e-commerce marketing agency, check out the description down below to apply to join our one-on-one consulting called Ad Engine. And if you want us to do it for you, right, for us to do all of that, produce your creatives and run your paid ads on Meta, Google, or TikTok, also check out the description below and book in a call to speak with our team today. With that being said, I invite you to check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.